welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. So, from where we last left off, despite the short video, well, it was like 38 minutes in and the such. Like, it's usually long for some people, but to me, it's a bit short because I normally do my readings around like a bit more longer than that. But you know, so almost all of the siblings, well, all of them, acknowledged Beatrice's existence. Uh, Kyrie was a little bit skeptical of it, but she just, hesitated, and then after, well, she was very bit hesitant, and then after that, she just decided to acknowledge it. But I don't know. Maybe Beatrice had this feeling because she was kind of reading her expression and made it look like she is going to deny that. So, bit of a maybe a hint of feeling that if she you know I want to say she would lie, but if she finds it, if the witch finds out, then if one would possibly deny, then it's a bit of a domino effect, right? So that could probably affect the sacrifices and such. And there's Rosa, who showed up, probably the only one. So the chapel apparently can't open by the master key, because normally you would think the master key would open up everything, but it has to be a specific key, and then apparently Maria had the envelope, so Rosa had to sneak inside the guest house, which is the cousin's room. It was successful for her, obviously. So she took the key, and then here we are. Let's continue reading. The chapel had a high ceiling, and the air was cold. And even on this rainy, unsettling day, it felt sacred for some reason. The servants timidly followed after Rosa.
ローザ様、あれを。
Canon noticed it immediately and pointed. Over there was the altar. In the place that would normally have a pastor preaching of God's love, there was a table that shouldn't have been there. At first, it looked like a dining table. There actually were gorgeous plates and utensils placed there, making it look like a child's birthday party or something. Upon closer inspection, the surrounding area had been decorated with pumpkins and black and orange ribbons. They were probably Halloween decorations. Decorations. What is with this tint of red there? You know, what if the weird part is all the decorations were like part of the remains? Like you think this pumpkin it would be like like jam, right? Yeah, let's pretend it's just freaking red jam. Probably Halloween decorations. And there were people seated at the table. 3 people on each side, facing each other, seated in chairs. They could be recognized at a glance. Kraus and his wife, Eva and her husband, and Rudolph and his wife. But if you wanted to be sure, you still have to go even closer and check. Because they seemed almost like dolls. Rosa and the rest had opened the door, entered all at once with the sound of many footsteps, and called out, asking if anyone was there. But yet there had been no reaction. Even if Rosa and the rest assumed they were being ignored, you'd still expect there to be some kind of reaction. They seemed almost like dolls. So let's look at characters right here. So Kraus and his wife, Eva and Hideyoshi. When I say Kraus and his wife, I mean Natsuki and Rudolph and Kairi. So these 6 would be most likely be the target of it. I don't know where Kumasawa went, if she's probably inside a mansion or something. You'd think all servants showed up. But, Rosa being the only one, obviously. You still expect there to be some kind of reaction, and there hadn't been that. So at first, it felt like someone had set down some dolls that greatly resembled those people. By now, it wasn't just Rosa, Shannon and Canon, and even Goda. They were all fighting frantically with the creepy emotion that grasped their hearts.
兄さん、A さん。
I'm curious to know. As she walked towards the altar, she called out again, but there was still no reaction. Yes, by now, Rosa was sure of it. She was sure these weren't dolls, but the people
これ
themselves.
は。
No words. They grew close enough to see clearly what lay on the table. It still looked like an adorable banquet, reminiscent of a child's birthday party. Plates piled up with sweets, cute pitchers with drinks, all kinds of pumpkin-shaped ornaments. They were all decorated in the Halloween style, and while this probably wasn't the time to be thinking it, Maria would surely have been delighted to see all this. This was the state of the table they sat in front of, apparently asleep. It was an eerie scene, as though a small, fun-looking Halloween party had been stopped in time.
兄さんたち、寝てるの？
Maybe they were partying a little bit too hard there during the Halloween party. Come on, surely. When she approached even closer to them, she realized that there were snacks scattered all over the floor. Candies, cookies, soda, and chocolates, all with heavily fantasy-themed packaging. They were all scattered across a carpet covered with blackberry and cranberry jam. Oh shit. Red Dread. It's not Golden Slaughter, which is one of the most banger tracks. It's Red Dread. Rosa and the rest finally realized what the situation was. Now this is a new scene right here. All the servants, Genji, even Rosa in there. Shit went down. What the situation was, it was a Halloween party. A banquet for those not of this world. Kraus, Natsuki, Eva, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Kairi were seated in chairs, apparently asleep, but all dead. How could you tell that they were dead and not simply sleepy? Not simply sleeping. That was because they'd been vertically sliced open from their chests to their stomachs. Holy shit. It's not like the last episode where their faces got fucking smashed open. Holy shit. Sorry about that, eating a little bit of candy. That's the first time Shannon been screaming at a time like this.
なんてむごい。
How can they do something like this? It's not like Beatrice do it. It's some cult, could be some cultist. Random one of the sort. The six of them had sat down at the Halloween party before having their stomachs split open, killing them. Then the jam covering the floor. Must be what overflowed from their stomachs once they'd stuffed themselves completely, right? What the fuck? No! The contents of their stomachs have been scattered all over the floor. That wasn't all. Out of their stomachs, it wasn't almost as though they'd poured out. as though snacks had overflowed from there. Candies and cookies and sodas and chocolates had poured out, stained with blood, and had scattered across the floor. The fuck? What, did they just change their internal organs into like candy or some shit? What the uh what could have happened to cause this? It's almost as though their stomachs were stuffed full to bursting with sweets, and it all poured out when their stomachs split open. Rosa remembered a certain shocking meal, a turkey that had been served at her own birthday. When it had been cut open with a knife, one flowed out with one of her favorite foods. But since she hadn't been told what was inside, the deep red ketchup omelet rice poured out like bloody maggots, pulsing, dripping, slimy, pulpy, squelching. Sounds like I would hear it. Sounds like, this dialogue made it sound like I'm reading a creepypasta or something. A scream from Rosa. The trauma of her youth was revived. Rosa felt a monster raging inside her stomach as the acid started to rise. Unable to hold back, she threw it all up on the floor. Wow. Fucking Rosa, what made her sick to her stomach and threw up. Her empty stomach had nothing but stomach acid. The scene in front of her was no fun Halloween party now. The three couples were enshrined right there, their stomachs vertically wrenched open with a gooey goopa. What the fuck kind of wording is this? So many snacks have been stuffed in there, pulpy, squishy. Blood and guts and sweets were overflowing onto the floor. Blood-stained, sticky, sloppy, pulpy, sweet snacks that made your fingers stick together. Gummy. But stained with entrails. Sloppy, pulpy. What was that I stepped on just now? That didn't feel like a candy or a cookie or a soda or a chocolate. I'm scared. What did I step on? I can't even look at the bottom of my foot. Ayahuasca. what a gruesome Halloween party. Fit for a sadist. From far away, it had looked truly beautiful, fantastical, and fun. But from up close, it was horrible, disgusting, and yet somehow still beautiful. Amazing on the outside, disturbing on the inside. Rosa's wild thoughts tried as best as they could to escape her throat with a loud voice that was neither a scream nor a roar. Fucking Kraus. You can't call an How are you gonna call an ambulance or the police at a time like this? The ambulance couldn't even do shit. If a word so tied to reality hadn't come out of Golda's mouth, Rosa and the rest would probably have found themselves unable to escape that nightmarish party even now. But it wasn't because they thought the police might be able to do something. If they didn't keep yelling about the police, It felt as though another seat might be set up at this demon's party and given to them. Their own chests felt like they were expanding unpleasantly from the inside, rumbling, churning, and it was surely because candy was about to overflow from their stomachs. Rosa, once again tortured by a desire to vomit, threw her stomach acid up on the floor, and then she searched. Searched to see if there was any candy in it. Well then. Excuse me.
とにかく
Rosa coughed violently again, forcefully spitting out the stomach acid that had been burning in her throat. She realized that by now her whole body had been covered in a filthy sweat.
源氏さんとシャナンちゃん、お父様に連絡して指示を仰いでちょうだい。郷田さんはカノン君と一緒に行って警察に電話を。あと南條先生に来てもらっ。
Why even bring Dr. Nanjo here? It's a bit too late for medical care. Well, maybe Nanjo can figure out a bit of the little forensic type of thing. The servants accepted their orders and dashed outside. After watching them leave, Rosa once again stared at their siblings, with whom she'd spent good times and bad, and their partners. Though there could be nothing more tragic than this scene. For some reason, she was tempted to describe these fantastical deaths as beautiful. As beautiful. Hmm.
いねえな。どこに行っちまったんだろうな。
Oh, they haven't even found out yet. Oh boy.
使用人室も厨房も空っぽだぜ。一体どうしちまったってんだ。
Oh yeah, she fuck. Rosa took the. Wait, if Rosa took the key, did she also took the letter that came from it?
弱ったね。
Perplexing.
バトラ君、本当にローザおばさんだったのかい？まあ、俺も寝ぼけてたから自信はねえんだが。明け方にローザおばさんが入ってきて、マリアの手提げカバンを漁ってるような気がしたんだよ。
Wait a minute. You were half asleep. Surely you would have heard the noise by now.
俺はてっきりマリアの手提げに歯磨きのチューブでも入ってるんじゃないかなんて思って寝ぼけてて。
Okay.
なんで歯磨きのチューブがマリアの手提げに入ってるんだよ。
A tube of toothpaste.
寝ぼけて夢でも見たに決まってんぜ。
Typical Battler. Battler vaguely remembered Rosa entering the cousin's room. Also, when Maria woke up before the rest of them, she started rampaging around, saying that someone had opened the envelope she'd been keeping safe. Putting two and two together, they figured that Rosa had probably come and opened the envelope.
黄金の魔女様の封筒か。 中に何が入ってたんだろ
う。わからないね。でも、あの封筒はおじいさまが新書に使う後宮家の家紋の入ったものだった。親族会議と無関係なものが入っていたとは考えがたいね。
She hadn't let anyone touch it, but yesterday Maria had shown that envelope off to Badler and the rest a whole lot. So they remembered it well. Unfortunate.
ジョージの兄貴の言う通りなら、相当重要なものらしいが。
Alrighty, another day, another interruption of the sort. So, what happened the last time within the 21 minutes in was, let's see here. Did they update? I don't remember if they updated it. Yeah, okay, this one I didn't see. See, there's crowd. So, all the parents died. And then only Rosa is alive. We don't see Kumasawa in there. So there's that. So we can read it off from here. So Ushiromiya Kraus, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems his stomach was cut open and his intestines were pulled out after his death. Additionally, sweets and candies were packed into his stomach. Welcome, Maria. Happy Halloween. And then same thing. See, didn't that, is that the same definition of how they died? See, didn't I tell you bellies are full of candy? Everyone has a belly that's filled with sweet dreams. And then same. So it happened to Natsuki, and that happened to Eva, and Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Kairi. A belly could never be full of disgusting things. That's why we want to be simple and sweet like candy. So this dreamland is for you. Happy Halloween. So basically, all the parents died. All six were sacrificed. You know, like cut open and stuffed with all candy, all that shit. Because so far, only Rosa has seen it, and then almost the rest of the servants did. We don't see Kumasawa in there, surprisingly. Not sure if not Rudolph, not sure if Nanjo has seen it as well. And Kinzo as well. He's holed up in his room as usual. So now, all the kids, they were trying to find out where the parents were. So there's that.
しかし、そんな大事なものを、どうして魔女様はマリアに渡したんだろうな。
Well, if you're right, it had to be pretty important. Why would this mighty witch give something that important to Maria?
さっぱりだぜ。
Yeah, I don't get it either. Every once in a while, the refreshing morning atmosphere was completely wiped out by the sound of thunder. It was only natural. Since the moment they'd woken up, they hadn't met anyone else. It felt like only they were left, as if the mansion had become an empty husk. Well, too bad Rosa is the only one in charge. Well, maybe Kinzo's still around, but yeah, so far Rosa is now in charge. Once she gets back, of course. Oh boy.
おーい、誰かいないか返事してくれよ
No one is. They're not gonna hear you at this rate. Jessica called out into the hallway, and eventually an answer came back. It came from the entrance hall.
聞こえますとも。
Oh shit, it's Nanjo.
何かありましたか。
Good old Nanjo, the family doctor, has responded.
南條先生だ。よかった。
Now, thank goodness.
この島から僕たち以外が消えてしまったわけではないようだよ。
Excuse me.
南條先生、おはようございます。すみませんが、うちの親たちとかどこに行ったか知りませんか？
はて、
Dear me.
私も今起きてこちらに来たばかりですからな。わかりかねますが、さて。
Let's not think too much there. It was only natural. Nanjo was a guest, just like the rest of them. He'd come just now to pass the time in the parlor until breakfast.
南條先生、ママが取った。ママがマリアのお手紙取ったの。返して返して。
Fucking Rosa had a reason to take your fucking letter. Well, mostly because it had the key and all the fucking contents. Probably the letter as well. It's fucking goddamn pop-up. There we go. Maria buried her face in Nanjo's plump stomach, sobbing and crying. Nanjo could do nothing but be bewildered by this ruckus so early in the morning.
誰かかけてくるぜ。ジェシカ、誰か来るぞ。
Oh shit. Who's coming? From down the hall, they could sense people running hurriedly. They saw Goda and Kanon coming towards them. Normally, it would be disgraceful for a servant to run inside the mansion, and yet Battler and the rest didn't even think to question that now. Maria's sobbing had become so unmanageable they wanted to ask someone, anyone, where Rosa was. But the two servants seemed to have bigger things on their minds than Jessica, who was waving at them. Goda flew into the servant room, and when Kanon noticed that Nanjo was there, he bowed and approached the doctor at a quick pace before whispering something into his ear.
何ですって？
He was like, "What?"
ローザさんが。
はい。ご案内いたしますので、どうかご同行お願いいたします。
わかりました。
こちらへ。
Without saying anything more than that, Kanon finally noticed Jessica and bowed to her. But he wasn't calm. He dashed back down the corridor by which he had come, followed by Nanjo. By looking at how hurried they were, Battler and the rest realized that yes, something bad really had happened. They saw Goda through the door to the servant room, which had been flung open. He was holding the receiver and violently pressing the hook. From that, they realized that he was trying to call a hospital or the police. In any event, he was trying to call someone because a serious emergency had occurred.
行ってみようぜ。
She trying to prevent you from meeting the witch. They didn't know what, but something was happening. Battler and the rest chased after Kanon and Nanjo. And then we realized. Kanon Kun had called Dr. Nanjo, but he hadn't called us. So we shouldn't have gone with them. I wonder if Alice regretted her excess curiosity when she chased after that rabbit holding a clock. Huh. Interesting little comparison. I assume the word Alice is, comparison to Alice in Wonderland. Up, we're going back to the chapel.
ダメよ。入っちゃダメ。
Uh-oh. This is just like the last episode. Instead of the freaking warehouse, this time it's the chapel.
見ちゃダメ。ジェシカちゃん。ダメ。
yes. It is finally. We have the banger of a soundtrack as they see the deaths witnessed by the kids. Oh shit.
母さん父さん何があったの
You see here. It's usually like last episode. It was all of them except for Natsuki, and then Shannon and Goda. Huh. I could have sworn it was a little bit more than that, from what I can assume. But yeah, this time the deaths are different.
なんだよこりゃ。
It's magic.
趣味が悪いにも程があるじゃねえかよ。命を奪うならそれで十分事足りただろうがよ。なんだよこりゃ。わざわざ殺した後に椅子に座らせて腹裂いて。
Not only that,
歌詞をわざわざ中に詰め込んだってのかよ。
I was gonna say the same thing.
なんだってなんだってそんな悪趣味なことをしやがるんだよ。
It is for the sake of the killers. Maybe that killer has this little sweet revenge going on. The killer sure has a bit of a sweet moment right there. Oh, I'm sorry.
ちくしょう
Oh, that should be the title of the fucking video. Got to think of it.
やってくれやがるぜ。最高だよ最高だよ。うわ
皆さんは外へ出られた方がいい。こんな姿を皆さんに見せたいなどと彼らが思うわけがありません。
This chapel might as well be cursed. Nanjo told the children to go outside, but no one listened.
ローザさん、皆さんに言ってください。こんなもの見続けてはどこになる。
No words. Rosa regretted her own carelessness. She should have realized that the children would eventually come here. She should have quickly locked up instead of standing around stunned. Well, it's too late now. The kids are now fucking traumatized. Just like the last episode. So the children had come here. They had seen it. Surely at this very moment they were having a sight burned into their eyes. That was far more grotesque than the shocking meal Rosa had witnessed in their youth. While she hugged Maria, who seemed to be too shocked to show any emotion at this gruesome scene, Rosa cried for them and their parents. The four groaning and crying voices, their sadness, continued to echo in a place that should have known God's love.
クソ野郎が。
Oh,
またかよ。またこんな殺人を。しかも今度もやたらと凝った最高にふざけた殺し方をしやがって。
わらわはそんな嘆きより感謝の言葉が聞きたかったぞ。
感謝。感謝と言ったかこのクソババア。
You old bitch.
てめえ、耳がいかれてやがるってんなら、俺が両の耳を引き裂いて、よく聞こえるようにしてやるぜ。なんで俺がこの最高にいかれた殺し方に、ありがとうございますベアトリーチェ様なんて言わなければならねえんだ。ぶっ殺してやる。
Oh, thank you very much, Beatrice Sama. That is a damn. This is a change of expression for Battler. Holy shit. You fucking pissed as hell. I'll beat your brains out.
前回のゲームで
Oh shit. That's a different expression from Beatrice. Oh god.
お前は自分の親の死に顔が見られないと嘆いたな。
Yeah, apparently so.
だから残したぞ。
Well, at least you can actually see the faces now.
しっかり残した。
Because apparently, I guess on the last episode, they can't. I think someone said, "Let me." I can't see their. I can't tell by the expression of the face or something. I don't know.
よく拝んでおけ。間違いなく父親たちが殺されたことを。
That is true because the last game they took off half of their faces for the 6 sacrifices, so you can't even tell. Especially with Shannon because fucking George got devastated as hell. So now 6 were sacrificed. Their fucking stomachs like cut open and all that shit. So you know what? Take a good look, for without a doubt, your father and the rest have been killed.
そうかよ。そいつはサービス満点だぜ。気に入った。俺はてめえの息の根を止めたら顔面耕してやろうと誓ってたが、そいつは取り消してやるぜ。てめえの腹渡を引きずり出してやる。
感情に任せて思考を止めるな。すでにわらわのゲームは始まっておるのだぞ。わらわは今回はきれいに死体を残すことに決めた。
When you say neat and tidy, did you mean like you sugarcoat it with, sweets and all that? Why did I say sugar? Oh my god. I need to Why does my jokes have to be so retarded this time?
なぜだかわかるか？
Why?
前回のゲームでそなたがわらわの存在を否定するとき、こう考えて否定したであろう。それは
You used this line of thinking.
顔面が潰され、遺体の身元が確認できない。
Their faces were crushed, so the identity of the corpses can't be confirmed. Well, that is true. Except that line had to do with the police can't have identified who they were because half of their faces were like smushed off.
だから身代わりの死体を用意してアリバイを作った可能性が否定できない。
How can?
その可能性が排除できない限り、人間犯人説は維持できる。
なんだと
Look at all these facial expressions. How devious she is.
さあバトラー、南條に検視を任せてよいのか？ミステリーの古典では検視の医者がグルというのが伝統なのだろう。
Considering this is a mystery game, I don't see why not.
なら南條に検視を任せるな。そなたが自らするがよい。間違いなく6人の死体が当人で、死んだふりなどでなく本当に死んでいることを十分に確認するがいい。
Well, if they are pretending to be dead, and then if the corpses were fake, would their 6 dead bodies would be a fucking decoy? And the candy is, I don't know, candy stuffed dolls, I don't know.
お前の父親が母親が腹を裂かれて臓物を引きずり出されて殺されていることを、腹に手を入れてその手触りで確認するがいい。
The witch telling Battler to grow some balls and do it yourself. This is what we call a sadist moment. Yeah, but let's not let the doctor do all the work. Let's have, you know, the witness themselves to actually go close to the dead body and double check whether they are dead or not. Just to be sure there's not. Just to make a really possibility of a test to see if it's real. And not, you know, some, I don't know. Well,
泣かね
that was one heck of a moment.
え。ちくしょう、ちくしょう。泣かねえぞ俺は。
Battler suddenly yelled. His tears were still dripping down, but as though scolding himself for being a sissy, he slapped his face hard several times with both hands. Even so, the tears still wouldn't drop. Still wouldn't stop. However, he felt a hot blaze in both his eyes.
これだけの上等を決めやがった野郎に借りはがっちり返させていただくぜ。
I still don't know how you got this sort of ability to you know, communicate with the witch. There's gotta be some sort of time possibility or something like that.
なら泣く時じゃねえ。自分のすべきことを考えろ。ああ、ダメだぜ、全然ダメだ。涙を流す暇があったら考えろ。涙腺なんかひるませる時じゃねえ。
Rather than genuine anger, maybe it was more of an invasive anger to blot out his sadness. However, it gave a little courage to George and Jessica, who had been crushed by the sadness.
そうだね。僕たちが泣いても起こってしまった現実は変わらない。
くそくそくそくそくそくそ
3, 4. That's there's like 7 worse of damn it.
じゃあどうすりゃいいんだ。私は父さんと母さんのために何をすればいいんだよ。
I don't know. That's a good question.
ローザ様、
Because I can't really put my thoughts from the conversation right here.
戻りました。
Oh, there you are.
郷田さん、警察はどうでしたか。対応の指示はいつ頃来られそうだと言っていましたか。
それが電話が故障のようでして。
Yeah, because the typhoon fucking blew blew the power out or some shit.
非常用の無線機も試してはみたのですが、その天候のせいでしょうか、こちらも通じず。
Yeah, well, Mother Nature is a bitch, ain't it?
なんですって。じゃあ警察に連絡がつかないということなの？あいつだ。あいつが電話線とかに細工して警察に電話ができないようにしたんだ。
That is a... Man, all these different facial expressions. That... It really, this is something really different. Like, Rosa having a scarier face. When she heard that the phones had broken down, Jessica immediately decided that it was the work of that mysterious guest. Her eyes were bright red. After so much crying, they began to grow even redder with rage.
もう議論の余地なんかねえぜ。全てが分かってる。そうだと分かる。父さんと母さんを殺したのは誰だ？決まってるぜ、あいつだ。昨日来たとかいう魔女様に決まってる。襟首ひねり上げてやるぜ。ちくしょうちくしょうちくしょう。ジェシカちゃん、お待ちなさい。幸田さん、カノ君、行って。
はい。
お嬢様、お待ちを。
Covering her uncontrollable sadness with anger, Jessica ran outside, torn apart by emotion. Thinking about it hastily, maybe the mystery guest who'd arrived yesterday, Beatrice, was suspicious. Obviously. It's either Beatrice or it could be like someone sent by her that did do most of the work for her. Was suspicious. However, in that instant, there was absolutely no proof that she was the culprit. Yeah, because this fucking... How do you argue against fantasy of the sort? You know? Where did they get all the candy? You know? She was the culprit. At this moment, she's just another guest, no more, no less. Yeah, she could... Yes, because she could be sitting here minding her own business. Like, there's no way. No more, no less. So Rosa, making an adult decision, was forced to stop Jessica in her rash rampage. Goda and Canon picked up on this immediately and chased after her.
誰にも招かれなかった客人ベアトリーチェが犯人なんだろうか。
ジェシカの気持ちもわかる。そう思い込みたい気持ちは俺にもある。誰でもいいから犯人ってことにして横っ面をぶっ飛ばしてやりたい気持ちがある。だがその前にはっきりと理解する必要がある。ベアトリーチェってのは何者なんだ。俺は顔すら見てねえぜ。
Oh, that's strange. You were crying too often not too long ago.
顔ならお屋敷に大きな肖像画で飾られてたよ。あれだけ見てまだ覚えられないのかな。
なんだよマリアン、こんな状況で何がおかしいよ。
ベアトリーチェは魔女なんだよ。 そして黄金鏡の扉を開くための儀式がいよいよ始まったの。この6人はその生贄なんだよ。
All by the cultist as planned.
さあ始まるよ、魔女の宴が。今宵はハロウィン。魔女たちが今こそ祝い集う。
The fuck? Is that, how is it? Halloween's on the 31st. I didn't know Halloween came this early.
マリア、その気持ち悪い声で笑うのをやめなさいっていつも言ってるでしょ。
Oh, apparently Rosa heard it. The crisp sound of Rosa slapping Maria's cheek echoed through the high-ceilinged chapel. Ever since it started raining yesterday, no, ever since the island was swallowed by the typhoon, I felt as though something was wrong. It was bright and sunny when I arrived on Rokujima, but since I'd gotten up early and was sleepy, I took a nap. When I woke up, it had already started raining, and ever since that time, suddenly, a mysterious visitor calling herself the Golden Witch Beatrice arrived, and it felt like I was sinking bit by bit into a bizarre world. What the heck happened while I was napping? Am I supposed to believe this island was sealed off inside a different world where common sense doesn't apply? Who is this person called Beatrice? Is some unknown person trying to involve themselves with the inheritance problem? Just like our parents were freaking out about at dinner last night? Or is the culprit this witch from the Legend of the Gold, just like Maria said? Yes, because she has... Obviously, Beatrice has multiple occupations. Even if we set Jessica's temper aside, given the circumstances, it's probably safe to say that this visitor person is the most suspicious. But we mustn't make up our minds based on that alone. It's useless. It's useless. It's all useless. I smacked my face with both hands again, cooling off my brains before they overloaded. Even though it might have been a wasted effort.
これはおじい様の封筒。
On a tray piled up with sweets that decorated the table, George Aniki found a Western envelope that had the Ushiromiya family crest done on it in gold leaf. And it was unopened.
ってことは、それは俺たち宛てってことじゃねえのか。
Hey, could we have another message for progression? Surely it's there must be some sort of clue in there.
親父たちが読んだものだったなら開封されてるはずだぜ。
その推理は正解のようだよ。書いてある。残されし者たちへって書いてあるよ。
To those who remain. Yes, the ones remaining alive, that is.
それは犯人が残した手紙なの。中身は。
兄貴、開けようぜ。
After nodding silently, George Aniki broke the seal. A folded letter came out.
読むよ。六軒島へようこそ、後ろ宮家の皆様方。私は金蔵様にお仕えしております当家顧問錬金術師のベアトリーチェと申します。
Wait, so it's not witch. I thought, okay, not, god damn it, why am I jumping? So it's not the fucking loan shark or something. It's a alchemist. or the debt collector. Why did my theory have to be this dumb? Alchemist. That letter really was a joke. This Beatrice, who called herself the family alchemist, had announced that she was collecting the gold she lent grandfather along with interest. And that interest was everything grandfather had created. Since this tragedy was right before our eyes as this paragraph was being read aloud, it clearly wasn't referring just to the wealth that grandfather had built up. It was literal, everything that grandfather had created. In other words, all of grandfather's descendants were included in the interest.
ふざけやがってなんてめちゃくちゃな契約だ
No, that's what happens when you sign up without giving it a read.
黄金の利子は命だってのかよそんなのまるで悪魔の契約じゃねえかよそれで魔女気取りってわけかはっ笑わせやがるぜ
特別条項。ただし隠された契約の黄金を暴いた者が現れた時、ベアトリーチェはこの権利を全て永遠に放棄しなければならない。黄金の隠し場所についてはすでに金蔵様が私の肖像画の下に碑文にて公示されております。つまりこういうことだね。もしこの殺人が利子の回収行為だというなら、それを止める条件としておじい様に与えた隠し黄金を探し出してみろとこう言ってるんだよ。そしてその秘密は例の肖像画の碑文に隠されているとも言ってる。
The point in the goal is hidden in the portrait epitaph. As usual.
つまりこいつは魔女様の挑戦状ってわけか。黄金の隠し場所を記した暗号文を解けるものなら解いてみろと。そしてそれができなきゃ利子の回収をこの後も着々と進めていきますとそう言ってやがるわけか。
Yeah, and collecting the interest means they're gonna kill your ass. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you if you don't, pay back that debt or whatever. Sounds like the harsh reality of borrowing a loan a long ass time.
ぶっ殺してやる上等だ。
バトラ君、これ
Why the heck? Huh. The audio, I mean not audio, the music got turned down a bit, but now's a good time to save it around right here. Despite, getting copyright claimed. And next part, let's find out more within this, this crazy madhouse of a chapel. Alright, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.